Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Joking Dolphin Gaming Podcast. I'm Mark, and I'm joined as always by Matthew
Hello.
and Nathan.
Happy Paragon Community Day! Woo!
Okay. Well, we've hit episode 10. Can you believe it, lads?
Wow.
Double digits. Could you ever believe we'd get this far?
No, I thought we were going to give up after the first one, to be honest.
Yeah. Part of
So
things we probably should.
It's like, we're not that good. Let's just pack in, lads.
But yeah.
Saying that, we've had some traction recently. The downloads have gone up by 200%, so it's encouraging.
Wow.
Cool.
pretty
So we
good.
might have about 6 listeners now.
Well, we've 42 downloads in the last 2 weeks.
Oh,
It's not bad.
well, no. All things considered.
Oh,
Oh,
shiny! Shiny!
What?
Oh, it's shiny.
Explain to the listeners and viewers what has happened.
Right, well, as mentioned previously, it's Paragon Community Day
On
And,
Pokemon Go.
on Pokemon Go. Yeah.
Yes, let's
And that
explain.
means a lot of the same Pokemon spawns, and it can have different colours than the normal colours, but it's quite rare. And I just got one of the rare ones, so well pleased.
Well done, you.
Thank you.
Right,
Well,
there's a lot.
Yeah.
Right, there's a lot to discuss, so I think we'd best just get straight into it.
Do it.
So on the last podcast, I made a demand. I said, like, before the next episode, I wanted answers from Microsoft and Sony about their
Prices.
pricing and their pre-orders,
Everything. Yeah.
and they've listened, sort of.
That's it. All for you,
Well,
Mark.
Yeah.
One of them
They-
listened, one was forced into it.
The hierarchy was the 200% increase, and they listened to the podcast.
Yeah, it was all
They,
Microsoft employees.
That's it.
So let's start with Microsoft, because they were the first ones to raise their head above the parapet in terms of their pricing, because well, they had quite a few leaks, so they were kind of forced into it, really, weren't they?
Yeah.
So they announced it's going to be $499.99 and £449.99 here in Britain. Not a bad pricing. Not bad prices, are they?
No, really happy with it. I thought it was going to be around 500 quid, maybe even a bit more. So, in my eyes, it's pretty much a £50 discount. So, always
That's
good.
one way of looking at it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So pre-orders for that go on for the 22nd of September, which will be the day this pod gets released.
Yep.
So if you're listening to this, get on it if you want an Xbox.
Yep, that's it. Go.
Interesting about the specs, it's going to be 1 terabyte, isn't it?
Yep.
Which is
SSD.
interesting
1
compared
terabyte SSD, wasn't it?
compared to the PlayStation. But we'll get onto PlayStation in a bit. Apart from that price, they had some pricing plan as well, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. So they've got Xbox All Access. So they've got 2 plans, one for the Series X and one for the Series S. So the X plan is £28.99 per month, and it's over 2 years. And you get the unlimited online subscription with all of the games and stuff. That's normally £10.99 a month on its own. So if you can get the console in there as well, it only works out about £5 or so more than if you were to pay the $449.99 up front. So I think it's a really good package and a really good deal if you don't want to spend that upfront money to get the console, so you can do it over a couple of years. So that's good. They've also got it for the Series S as well, so that's £249.99. And for that plan, it's £20.99 per month over 2 years again. And that doesn't work out much more at all either. So, yeah, I think this plan's there for everybody. If you want to buy outright, I think the price is fairly good and very competitive. And if you want to pay for it over a couple of years, then there's an option there for you. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's say the Series S, $299.99 and £249.99. That's quite a good price.
Yeah,
Plus,
definitely.
all things considered. I mean, I know it's less powerful, but to me, I can see that becoming a big seller at Christmas for children's first foray into console gaming.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have so many games, aren't they, available for it on launch, and all of the Series X games are going to be compatible with it. So, yeah, you're not really going to be missing out too much. It's a case of if you want 4K versus
this thing
440 Yeah.
You know, if you give it to children for Christmas, they're not really going to care about all these teraflops and GPUs, CPUs, all that business. So they just want to play all the latest games. And that's going to be an excellent price for people.
Well, it's going to be like the perfect Fortnite machine, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, I guess. Well, that's going to be 512 gig.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not.
And for a digital only, are you
Yeah.
going to be able to fit that much on it? That's the question.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the other differences between the two. Series X, you've got a 4K Blu-ray player or 8K, and then the Series S is discless. So you got to take that into account as well. Are you going to have to uninstall games? Because you're looking Call of Duty Cold War, you're looking over 100 gigabytes. Not to mention the inevitable 40 gigabyte day one patch. So you're only going to be able to get maybe 4 or 5 games on it at once.
4.5 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, smart. So both of those, as I say, pre-order September 22nd, and they will release on November the 10th.
Mm-hmm.
So not too far away.
No.
And then we had Sony Return Fire with their showcase, and at the end of that, they announced their pricing. So that's going to be $499.99 and £449.99 as well for their standard edition.
Yeah.
So they decided to go exactly the same price, whether that was planned or not.
Well, that's it. Do we think it was originally going to be that? I think it was probably going to be about £500, but then they thought, we've got to at least match Microsoft with the Xbox here. Otherwise, we might lose a lot of people. So I think they probably took a hit on the hardware, because the SSD that PlayStation uses is a lot more impressive than the one that the Xbox has got. And just some of the statements that they put out there, they've had to put extend certain cutscenes in games because it load too fast into the game and stuff like that. And I never thought we'd get to that point, because it's always loading screens. But yeah.
So the PS5s come with an 825 gig SSD hard drive, so less
space.
less than the Xbox. I can't see any excuse as to why. To be honest, I think 1 terabyte is not enough.
Not in this day and age. No, you've got to at least 2.
If we start to do digital consoles, then I can't understand why we're still so low on the space. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it's so they can sell you the proprietary hard drive upgrades.
Yeah, there'll be further consoles in a couple of years, won't there? Where they'll just have bigger hard drives. That always happens.
Well, that's it. They'll come out with the Pro version again. Because originally the PS4 was 500 gigabytes, and they came out with a Pro at 1 gigabyte. 1 terabyte. Sorry, 1 gigabyte.
True, Jesus.
It's like being back in Xbox 360 days with the 512 memory card on the arcade version.
And then we had the PS5 digital version, which is $399.99 and £359.99. I was expecting that to be $349.99 for UK then. So yeah. But yeah, what do we think to those pricing? Because that's obviously more expensive than the Series S.
Yeah.
But these have got the same specs. That's the thing, isn't it?
That's it. That's the difference. It's got the same horsepower underneath, so you are going to be playing at least 4K. And it's a competitive enough difference for it to maybe sway people, I think.
Is it though? Well, actually, when I'm looking at it, it's... What's the difference? My maths is terrible. 90 quid difference, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah.
Something like that.
So, would it be worth just going for top range? Well, saying that is the disc, isn't it?
Yeah.
The disc drive. I guess that's one of the main differences, isn't it?
Well, let's just say if you're going out to buy a console at Christmas and you're a parent and you see something that's 90 quid cheaper, and for that 90 quid you can get your kid 90 quids worth of V-Bucks. You've been an absolute hero.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But
Or
It's all-
buy a couple of extra digital games, maybe.
yeah, it's all about the disc drive for me, though.
Yeah, I'm a advocate for physical media, so I'll definitely be getting the disc version on both accounts. All the power, all the discs.
Yeah. So they're going to release on November 12th in the US, Japan, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea. And then it's going to release on November 19th at the rest of the world, apart from China, which will be announced at a later date.
This is one of the things that I didn't like. Us getting it a week later than everybody else. You expect this to be in the 90s. Like, releases for console should be worldwide, in my opinion. Not like what it was in the early 90s when literally 18 months before we got the Mega Drive, Japan already had it. We had to wait that long to get a console. So I just think it's strange, and I just don't. It leaves a sour taste in my mouth because everybody else is going to get it a week early. I'm going to be watching their YouTube videos, jealous out of my mind, waiting for mine to arrive. Well, if I can even get a pre-order, that's another thing.
Well, we'll get onto this.
Well, yeah.
So, Jeff Keighley, the guy from the Games Awards and I don't know, whatever else.
Everything
I
else.
don't know.
He seems to be everywhere.
He just randomly announced on Twitter that he had authority from Sony to announce that pre-orders were going to go on sale the following day after the showcase. And then certain retailers, and then, well, there's no other way to say it. It was a complete disaster, wasn't it? Because certain retailers started putting it on early, even before midnight.
Yeah.
There was no announcement it was going to be at midnight anyway. There was no specific times. So everything just ended up selling out, or nobody knew where to get anything from. It was a mess, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just poor communication across the board between Sony and the retailers, and, well, us as consumers. It's just.
I just find it staggering that they wouldn't delay on the pre-order date and announce it in the showcase. I just can't fathom that, because you're not going to just watch the showcase and suddenly go to Twitter and go, "Oh, Jeff Keighley's told me the pre-orders are available." Hey,
yeah,
it's just stupid. I can't believe how much they dropped the ball on this. It's a PR
definitely.
But I mean, if you're hard set on getting a PS5, you're gonna keep going. But I think some people might have been like, "Oh, I can't be bothered with this. I'll just get an Xbox." I think some people will have been like that.
I mean,
maybe
the
not
people,
many,
the people that were on the fence, definitely, that might have been something that would dissuade them.
Because a lot of people might think, "Oh, I might not be able to get one now." So that's why they thought, "Oh, well, I've got time to prepare for the pre-order for Xbox, haven't I?" Because they announced a date, and you can get ready for that, can't you?
Yeah.
Whereas this was just thrown out there by Sony. Staggering.
I mean, yeah, it was so much of a shambles that the next day, Xbox came out with their tweet saying, "Oh, by the way, we'll let you know when pre-orders will be available." It's like
rubbing salt it.
I love that.
You've just given a cheap score to Microsoft. Pretty much what Sony was doing at the start of this current gen before it was coming out. Microsoft was making so many mistakes with the Xbox One, and Sony, all they had to do was just, "Oh, by the way, we're not doing what they're doing," and it's easy, point scoring. It's just so weird to see that Sony's. You think how much experience they have in the industry. You think they would be able to avoid this kind of little messes that they've got every now and then. Sometimes.
Yeah. External to the pricing and launch dates, what did we think of the showcase itself? Did anything stand out to anyone? Because a lot of it was what we've seen already, pretty much, maybe with a little bit more.
With a little bit more. I was hugely surprised that Final Fantasy 16 got announced. I don't think I was expecting it though. I was reading somewhere afterwards that there was rumors about it being shown off. So I was happily surprised to see that.
It's going to be exclusive as well, isn't it?
Well, there's a bit of a confusion over this one because I think so within this showcase itself, towards the end, it said it was a PlayStation console exclusive, and then there's a little tidbit at the bottom saying also available on PC or something like that. But I think when you go to see the trailer outside of the showcase, it doesn't show that little tidbit at the bottom, and there's a bit of confusion on what this actually means, because I don't think it's actually going to be a permanent exclusive to Sony.
So it might be a timed one.
I
So
think
they'll get it for 6 months
one.
and then it'll come out for Xbox later.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming to PC. We know it's coming to PC, but they tried to hide that bit. When it's coming to PC, I don't know, because I think I was reading an article that I think there's a 6-month period for PC for when it can come out, and then I think there's at least a year for Xbox. But again, it's one of those things that Sony, I don't know, since the showcase is starting to like slip up a bit, that like you're saying it's console exclusive, but I'm reading an article saying actually it's not. This is a timed exclusive. This was something that Microsoft was sort of caught on with the Xbox One kind of a few years ago about. Might have been, was it Rise of the Tomb Raider?
Yeah.
Was that one?
Yeah, that was timed exclusive.
That was a timed exclusive, but they made it seem as though it was.
Yeah, because they said only on Xbox and stuff like that, didn't they?
Yeah.
When they were first coming out.
So even though it was on PC as well, so that was already a silly thing that they did. But just yeah, some of the stuff they did in the showcase and the stuff that came out afterwards has probably soured some people's. At least for me, it's soured my
your perception of them.
Yeah, it's making me look at the Xbox Series X and thinking, looks all right.
Yeah. Yeah, they also came out with a new PS Plus benefit during the showcase, didn't they?
Yes.
So it looks like you can access a load of great first and third party games on day one on your PS5. So that'll be good because there was games in there like The Last of Us Remastered, Until Dawn, Infamous Second Son. It was like the backlog of PS Plus games from the past you can access. So if, for example, you missed out on something, then you can access it, which I think is good because not everybody, downloads everything. So after the month's gone, you'll lose it in effect because you can't get access to it. So I think that's a really nice touch. But I do think by doing that, they've tried to combat what Xbox is doing with the Game Pass, because just the sheer amount of games that they'll have available on day one via that pass. I think that's what they've tried to do with that. But I think it's more games for people to play. They can go back and play some of the greatest games from the last generation, which I think is good. So I'm happy with that. Sorry?
So what a generation that was.
Well, definitely. There's been some great games. Yeah. I mean, speaking of... Go on, Matt, after you, mate.
Oh, sorry. What I was going to say is, I don't know how straightforward this PS Plus collection is going to be, because I don't think it's really, I don't think it's Sony's answer to Game Pass, because I think they have actually come out and said the Game Pass just wouldn't be viable for something that they would do.
Yeah, I've said that.
So I think this is purely just like a best of collection of games that were on the PS Plus. So whatever you got per month for free, or you could download. I think they've just gone, oh, here's the best of what was on that particular service. I don't know if Sony will ever do something like Game Pass, because really it's something that loses Microsoft money, but they can afford to take that hit in effect.
Well, that's it. They're such a big company.
They've got so much resources that it's just like, we can just do this, and I know it's got so many praises, but I don't think any other company can do this. Maybe Nintendo, if they really got their fingers out of their bums and.
I don't think they'd ever do it. They wouldn't do it for the first party games, because they hold the value that well.
No, true.
People will always buy them. That's the thing.
Well, that says it's the first party. I don't think anywhere other than Microsoft can go. Yeah, you can, if you've got Game Pass, you can get Halo 5 straight away. Not Halo 5, sorry, Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
And Halo 5. But yeah, What other games was did catch our eyes in that showcase?
Well, I've just finished playing Spider-Man. So the new Spider-Man game really caught my attention, and we got to see some gameplay. It looked really good. I was so impressed with it.
Good, yeah.
And Miles has got his own like fighting style, but it still looks really satisfying, like it was in the first game. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. That's one of the main games that I'm really looking forward to. So it's good to see more of that.
Yeah, the music in that as well when they're showing it off was really good. It sounded like the music was like in sync to the fighting. It sounded pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Another game that I'm really looking forward to, weirdly enough, is the Hogwarts game, like the Harry Potter RPG.
Oh,
yeah,
Hogwarts
I was going to
Legacy.
mention this because surprisingly that caught my attention as well, and I've never watched any of the Harry Potters. So
Yeah,
really?
No, I haven't.
So
I've got more on Blu-ray, but I've never watched it.
Yeah.
But
So for anyone who doesn't know, this is set in the late 1800s, before the books and the films, and you get to forge your own path. So whether you want to be good or even a dark wizard, which I might not mind going down that route, might be fun. So I don't think you might need to know a little bit about the universe before getting into it, but you don't really need to know about the series as such. So it might be a good game for you to try and get into the lore of Harry Potter, Mark.
yeah, but I like RPGs in general, so I quite like that idea of going around, talking to people and spells, etc. Maybe sounds like it could be good fun. But would I have to know anything about the story? I don't know.
I don't think you would. I think there might be one or two characters that might make an appearance from like the books and stuff, because a couple of the wizards were fairly old and stuff. But
yeah,
I think really it's just a new story set within this universe for Harry Potter. I really hope it's actually quite. It's going to be open world, isn't it? So they're going to explore a lot more of like outside of Hogwarts, kind of around the grounds and the lands that surround it. I think that'll be quite interesting. Be able to
definitely, because it
get
seems
on
like
your broom.
Well, that's it. Yeah, the broom stuff. There seems like there's a myriad of creatures that you can find, like good and bad. I did see a big spider there, Matt. So hopefully you'll be okay.
It wasn't too big. I think it might be okay. Not unless the one in the film is in, then that case.
Yeah.
No. No.
But yeah, that one looked really good.
Yeah.
We saw another trailer for Call of Duty, didn't we? Just
action packed.
Yeah, chasing a plane on a runway.
On a jeep.
Yeah.
And
One of the
with the RC
just
explosions
everywhere.
Yeah. One of the bits that impressed me was how quickly it flowed. I mean, it's probably orchestrated that way, but like doing the reconnaissance.
Yeah.
There was a tarp blown in the wind, and I thought, oh, that looks like a really nice tarp. It's
small detail.
That bit really stuck out to me. Like the tarp's blown around really well. And then he went to the sniper, and it was like slow mo, like Sniper Elite. And then it went to like the car chase, gunplay, and then you got the little C4 remote control car. And so action packed, and to say the least. Yeah, looked quite good.
I've got to say, one of the executions in that was fairly brutal. I mean, stabbing a man in the head and shooting him. I think he's already dead. Don't need the headshot.
Oh, need to make sure.
Just to make sure, yeah.
Have you seen Zombieland before? Always double tap.
I've not actually. No.
Anyway, yeah, it's a quote from that film. But...
Speaking of zombies, we also saw Village. Or Resident. What's it actually called? Is it just called Village?
It's called Resident Evil Village.
So that's the official name, is it?
I believe.
Not just Village, because they don't seem to be saying that on the trailer.
Well, it's either Resident Evil Village or Village Resident Evil.
Village. No,
well, it's a player that the first.
It's French.
What?
Village.
It's a player that the first 4 letters in Village can't spell. 8.
Yeah.
Do you think they worked the entire game around that? It's like what word can we get to fit that?
I think because of the success of how they pulled it off in Resident Evil 7, where where it appeared in the evil at the end, 7, they were like, What else can we can play on words to get 8? We're like, oh, no village.
That's it. I watched the trailer for this and I just went, nope.
It looks scary, doesn't it?
Just that pure bit where it was just like walking through the snow and his shadows just in front of him. I just found that scary enough as it was. Just like
it's my shadow.
No, I'm not doing any of this other stuff. It's like, nah.
Oh, could you imagine if they made that in VR?
Oh
no. Well, it could be happening. You know, they did it with 7.
I might try it, but I don't think I get very far. I think get very far in 7.
Another game they announced was, well, speaking of like scary stuff, they had 5 Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
I was going to mention this. That voice is ominous.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like it.
You know what? For a series that started off on like I suppose it was very 2D. It was very two-dimensional in how it was created. I never thought it would really catch on the way it has, and I mean, to be able to make something like that, I actually thought it was he's got his second shiny.
Fucky one.
Boom.
His second.
Sorry, carry on.
For how far the series has got, for that trailer, I actually thought it was quite impressive. How it was all built, everything looks really nice graphically. And I mean, I don't think I'll ever play any games because they rely on jump scares. They're not scary games. But the jump scares are just But, I mean, if you even take like a minute to look into the lore, it's got a very impressive lore. To be fair, it's one of those where it's just got twists and turns all over the place.
I had one sentence written down for this game. It was scary game. Nope. The voice acting was terrifying.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That sounds fairly accurate to what we saw.
Yeah. We got more Deathloop as well. I know that's a game that you've been interested in, Mark.
Yeah, but it got delayed into. I can't remember when till. It was like quite good. But,
yeah.
I can't say there's much really new in.
Yeah, not really. I just feel sorry for Igor. Just gets stopped all the time. Every day.
Actually, something that I thought was new revealed in this trailer, I might have missed it in previous trailers, was how the targets can actually interact with each other depending on what you've done in that loop. So in the trailer it was explaining, he's gonna after Igor during the night, he's had to take a lot of security and stuff, and he's ended up taking out his target. But they said like in the next loop, what he can do is if he goes there earlier and stops something that Igor was creating, Igor ends up at the party for I forgot what the other target was. The one with the dog mask. So you can have like 2 targets in one area then. And I think I reckon that's what Deathloop might be setting up, that at some point you'll need all your targets in one place, potentially in one loop. Maybe. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be quite interesting.
Yeah, to try and orchestrate it so they're all together.
Well, yes, because that's
a bit Hitman-esque.
Well, that's it. It sounds very Hitman, but it's all in the way of like, depending on what you do with one target, something else changes in your loop. And if it's changed to a point where you can't do that target, then you've got to start all over again. I think it's essentially like a game of chess in effect, trying to get all the pieces into one place for you to be able to take out. But then obviously you've got the unpredictability of the second player who's hunting you and you only, which I thought was new as well. Because I always thought the second player was also going after the targets at the same time, not specifically just you. So that was new to me, but no, it looks really, really good. I'm looking forward to it.
We got a look at the new Fortnite that's going to be available for launch. It's just Fortnite, looks a bit better.
That's Fortnite with ray tracing.
Did it even look better?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it did. It looks a bit better.
The line looks a little bit more realistic, but that's probably about
it. Right, I've been saving this one, Mark. You know what I'm going to say.
Oh, can I interject? Sorry.
Oh, go on.
There's one that I like the look of, but I didn't get this gen, which was the Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition.
Special Edition, yeah.
That looks absolutely insane. I I mean, from what I've read about it, it's going to have one new playable character, which you couldn't do in the previous one, which is called Virgil, who was like the main antagonist for most of the games, and he's also Dante's brother. If you don't know who the characters are.
Yeah.
They've got one. What have they called it? They've got one new mode that's called like something like Legacy Shadow Hunter, I think, something like that, where they've got like X amount of times the enemies on screen at once, which looks absolutely insane.
That does look insane. That just like slashing through all those enemies. That looks incredible. And I don't even like the Devil May Cry games. I find them really repetitive, and I don't really like the like automated fighting loops in it. But that bit did look pretty good.
What do you guys think of Demon's Souls?
Have
you ever played any of the Soulborns? Or
I've not played any of the games. No. What I really enjoyed was the lighting.
It did look nice. It really did look good.
I thought it was one of the better looking games that they showed off. It was really nice. Yeah.
It does look interesting though, like all the different enemies that you can fight, like dragons, spiders,
I'd say
giants.
I really did like the trailer. How he ended up just dying in the boss battle.
Yeah,
it's like you are dead.
You know what? Actually,
because that's become a meme, hasn't it? So
that was something that was weird to me in the trailer of how easy it made it all look initially. I'm like, this can't be Demon's Souls.
Going
like
through enemies.
Like the Souls series are infamous for its difficulty. Even like the supposed easiest enemies quite tricky to fight against. So I was like, it really kind of put me off actually. I was like, why is this so easy? Why is he just walking through, just blocking things?
Yeah, and then you are dead.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, we get to the boss
if
fight.
He got killed by the first skeleton creature, and that's it for trailer.
Yeah, a terrible trailer.
That'd be perfect.
This is the game. Get used to it.
This is the game. You're gonna die by the first thing you see. Welcome.
Another game that one was Oddworld, Soulstone.
Yeah, we got to see a bit more of that. Oh, I can't wait for this one. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it looks good.
Love Abe. Yeah, I love the interactions between them all. It's just so funny.
Yeah. I'm hungry. I really want a sandwich.
Yeah. Listen, guys, we're running for our lives here. No time for sandwiches.
I think I'm gonna have to play the remake because I never really. It was a game that really weirded me out when I was young. I thought it was really weird
because it's a really dark atmosphere, isn't it? And it's
quite
graphic.
Yeah, it's a dark atmosphere and a dark humor, and I think obviously, I like to think most kids probably don't understand dark humor initially, but it looked quite fun. This trailer, so I think
I just want the burps and the farts to return.
Yeah, definitely. As long as there's that, then I'll be happy.
Then to finish off, what did we get, Nathan? Something you and I are both quite interested in.
Yeah. So, they said the piece at the end after they brought the pricing out, and then they said, "Oh, we've got one more thing." And then I heard Kratos' voice, and I was like, "Yeah, boy!" Inside joke. So yeah, it's going to come out 2021. We didn't see any gameplay. It was just Kratos speaking. It's going to be called God of War Ragnarok by the sounds of it.
Yeah, I don't think it's been officially confirmed as that. I think on the PlayStation Store, it just said website. It just said Untitled God of War sequel or something. But I'm guessing that's what's going to be.
I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Should be good.
When did God of War come out?
2018.
Okay, so there's enough time. I did see a couple of comments thinking this might be in the similar vein as what Uncharted the Lost Treasure. Lost Legacy, sorry. And obviously Miles Morales kind of like a side game, but if it's been 3 years, it should be.
I hope that's not going to become a trend now.
It was a comment. I didn't see anything official. It was just a comment. So I was
I don't want this to keep continuing, this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I want full games.
Spin-offs. Yeah, definitely. And if they're going to be putting the prices up to 50, 60 quid a game, I definitely want full games.
50, 60. There's some that are 70.
I have that 70, yeah.
Like that.
Although, I did notice Spider-Man's only 52 quid.
Mm.
That's a well.
Well,
Whether you
the
can say that's a full
PS4.
game is another thing.
Well, it's
No,
it's
PS5.
50. It's 50 for the standard, but you can get like an ultimate
Yes.
edition for 70.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that gives you, I don't know. They did show off, I think, one new skin for Miles, but I don't recognize it. I'm not familiar with.
I have to say, it's quite astounding how the price jumps from the standard editions to the special ones. I have to say.
Yeah.
Well, I think nowadays, like, if a standard edition is just going to be 70 now, how much are, like, special editions going to be?
Well,
Well,
didn't
with
they say,
the collectors.
didn't they say
Yeah.
that was for first party stuff though?
No,
think that's what-
yeah, I think first party might be cheaper, but I mean,
No,
I
I think
think
first,
even-
no, I think first party is going to be more expensive.
oh, is
The
it?
other ones are going to be cheaper.
Well, I
That
saw,
was my interpretation.
I've seen on listing, like Destruction All Stars.
Yeah,
That's semi, and I don't think is that first party.
that's first part. I will get onto this.
Okay.
So they announced that there's going to be 5 first party launch titles.
Mm.
One of them is going to be Spider-Man Miles Morales, Sackboy: A Big Adventure, Destruction All Stars,
Yeah.
Astro's Playroom, which is going to be installed on PS5 to begin with, and Demon Souls. So they're going to be the 5 first party launch titles.
Oh, that's going to be launched.
Mm. There's a decent mix there, I think.
Yeah, not bad.
So I think that's the final big things that's going to be coming out of both of them camps now.
Mm.
Overall, have you changed? What's your feelings on what you're going to buy? You're just going to get both, or are you going to get one before the other? Which one are you?
Still getting both. I'll probably end up getting PlayStation 5 first.
If you can.
Yeah, well, if we can get our hands on a pre-order.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I might wait maybe a month before committing to getting them, because I think there might be a few deals around Christmas with a couple of games maybe. So that's I think I'm going to wait for that around Christmas time.
Speaking about the PlayStation pre-orders, PlayStation did put a tweet last night. I don't know if you saw it, and it says, I quote, "Let's be honest, PS5 pre-orders could have been a lot smoother. We truly apologise for that.
Oh yeah, so
Over the next few days, we will release more PS5 consoles for pre-order. Retailers will share more details, and more PS5s will be available through the end of the year." And then just a picture of the PlayStation logo. So they've acknowledged it.
well, yeah, that's fair enough.
Now they need to back the words up and actually do something about it.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
It's nice that they've come out and acknowledged it was a mistake. I think it's just something that could have been avoided since they'd never done it before.
Sorry, Matt, you never answered. Which for me, what tempted to go for?
I don't know. Like I think at some point I will end up getting both. I think purely on just exclusives for the time being, I think I still have to go with PS5.
Yeah. So is it going to be the standard edition for you both?
Yeah.
Same for me. And if you were going to get an Xbox, would it be the X or the S?
X.
I think that's the X.
Yeah,
just for the extra power.
I think if you end up getting the S, you'd end up regretting it at some point.
Yeah.
But I can say, as I said earlier, if it's your first ever foray into console gaming, it's a great entry point.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good price point. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's good for those as well who don't necessarily have like 4K yet. Like it would be the better machine to go for. Yeah, certainly. If you want to invest in 4K,
a lot of people haven't even got 4K TVs over. So,
well, I say it's still
it's a waste of a lot of people. Anyway, that's all that stuff on them two then.
Yeah.
Oh, finally, we waited so long.
just had an extra maybe minus point to how Sony handled stuff, unfortunately. So after the showcase, I think it was again Jeff Keighley.
Keighley, yeah.
I was gonna say Knightley then. Jeff Keighley. Jeff Knightley, yeah. It probably more suited to him, to be fair. He mentioned that three PS5 first party games are also launching for PS4. So they I think they mentioned it was going to be Spider-Man Miles Morales. I think it might have been Sackboy. I think Sackboy was the second one.
Yeah.
And then they mentioned it was going to be the next Horizon Forbidden West was also going to be launching on PS4.
That's interesting, considering that's going to be not a launch title.
It's not a launch title, yeah, but it's going to be launched on PS4 as well, which also kind of contradicts Sony's messaging that they believed in generations, so anything made for PS5 would be exclusive. So again, it's kind of, you've said one thing and it's come out, it's going to be another thing, and you've not been quite honest about it. It's like, you know.
I mean, for me, I don't mind that. I mean, there's got to be a generational leap, but if more people can play more games, then I'm all for it. As long as it's a good option.
No, the thing is, I don't mind that the games are on PS4. That's not what I took issue with. It was the issue that they made the statement of, you know, we're moving on to PS5 now. That's it. Like, no, you know, we're not going to be developing first party titles for PS4 and PS5, because that was the whole Microsoft thing of like they believe in their whole ecosystem of, you know, they're still for at least the first year or so, anything that comes out on Xbox Series X is still coming out on Xbox One. You know, like Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, probably Far Cry 6 or something like that.
I have to say, I think because of that standpoint between them both, I think that's why PlayStation have annihilated them when it comes to first-party games, because they've been focusing on like the future. So they've been able to put everything behind the new ones.
Possibly, yeah.
So I think that's why they're falling behind.
Well, that's one of the reasons why Halo Infinite's been delayed, because the developers were having trouble getting it to work on the older consoles. So in ways it can be bad because it can slow down production of games. And if it slows down production, you've not got as much time to work on the next project, and I'm sure it's got a snowball effect. But if they can handle it, then more power to them. But so far, it doesn't seem like they can, without it slowing down production.
Yeah. Well, what other news we got?
Nintendo had a direct, didn't they, Matt?
Well, they had a Nintendo Direct mini partner.
Well, a mini partner showcase.
Yeah. So not a main direct like they would have like E3 or something. But it's been over a year since they've had a proper direct.
Yeah, full
Nintendo.
direct. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think they're doing okay bringing out these mini ones and then just announcing games as they come. So it might be what they decide to do going forward instead of leading up to a big showcase every year. I mean, early on we had a couple of Monster Hunter games. I know you're into that series. So first we had Monster Hunter Rise. So I saw like, right, we've got Ninja Cat and Doggo. That looks good. To be honest, I've only ever played Monster Hunter Generations, and it didn't really grasp me that much. I did try, but this one does look quite good. What did you think of it, Matt?
I was almost blown away with how good it looked for Nintendo Switch, at least. So like, it really feels like this is their Monster Hunter World game. That one came out on the other consoles, where they really did a lot of kind of quality of life upgrades to the whole series. So like, being able to have one area fully connected, so you're not kind of going to loading screens, going from one area to another, trying to chase a monster down. Certain items having an unlimited use, so it was nice to be able to, you know, sharpen your weapon up so it could do more damage without having to waste, I think it was wheat stones, I think they were called. And then be able to cook meat as well for health, having that on it. Unlimited stuff, that was nice. And it looks like they're doing the same here as well for Monster Hunter Rise. Like, they showed off areas where they're all linked. You're not going into load screens, so you don't get confused when you're chasing a monster and stuff. Being able to, I don't think there was a certain amount of climbing walls. I don't know how that system works, whether it's something like Assassin's Creed Origins, where there's like an unlimited amount of, I suppose, stamina to climb walls, or if it's like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, where you've got a stamina meter that
you got like a stamina
build
meter
up throughout the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be more linked to that, and then having this like almost kind of like Spider-Man-esque webbing stuff with this. I think it was called a wire bug. I think that looked quite interesting because you can combine it with fire monsters to do some pretty cool combos and stuff.
Yeah.
Being able to ride the dog as well, that looked pretty cool. Yeah, there was a Palamut, looked pretty cool, and that can attack with you as well in battles against monsters. That's pretty cool. I was very excited for it.
Yeah, it did look really good. So that's on the 26th of March, 2021. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's ages away. But then I forget we're in September already. You feel
like this year's gone slow, but it's actually gone really fast.
Yeah, definitely. There's pre-order bonuses. So if you pre-order, there's some skins you can get. I dubbed them cute cat and cute dog skins.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. So that's nice. So if anyone wants to pre-order. Also, straight after that, there was also another Monster Hunter game that they talked about. So Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. Now, have you played the first one at all, or do you know much about the first one?
Yeah, I played quite a bit of the first one on 3DS. So this was Monster Hunter's version of like a Pokemon game, in effect. Like it's an RPG where you fight with your monster partner and stuff, and you fight other monsters. And yeah, you'd essentially at some point be able to. I don't think you could catch them, but you could hatch monsters.
Yeah,
to get new ones.
I think they previewed that, didn't they? The eggs and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was all through that, and I thought it was a nice little tile for 3DS. Then Nathan's shown his third shiny because he can't put the phone down.
I'm present. I'm here.
You're present, yes. So I would recommend people if they've got 3DS to pick it up because it's a nice little tile. Yeah, it's got an interesting.
More love for the 3DS because it's going to be dead soon, and they're going to stop bringing games out for it. I imagine at some point.
Yeah, well, I've got a story linking to that, but we can get into that another time. So yeah, I'm happy with more in the stories series. So.
Yeah, I watched it, and to be honest, I didn't really have too much of an idea what was going on. So it's nice that you've been able to like bring me up to speed, kind of with what the story is so far.
Yeah, it was more of a story trail than a gameplay trail. I don't know if they've got a gameplay for it, but we'll find out more next year, I suppose.
So that one's coming summer 2021, so a little while away. But yeah. Did anything else catch your eye?
Ooh, I'm trying to think what else they showed off in the direct.
So the next one was Fitness Boxing 2. So that was the workout / rhythm game.
I could probably do
and
with that.
exercise.
Yeah. I could probably do with that. I don't get enough exercises. get my jabbing going and my shadow boxing.
Yeah, I'm crap at rhythm games, so I'd just get confused like halfway through, and then it'll fall apart, and I just give up. It's like I'm the same with like Donkey Konga Bongos. Yeah. Anyway, there was a Donkey Kong game. Donkey Konga, I think it's called.
It was Donkey Konga, but you played it with
the bongos on the GameCube. Yeah. Anyway, and like Guitar Hero, any game like that, when I get my fingers mixed up or anything, it's like, oh, it's all falling apart. I can't pick it back up again, and I give up. But yeah, so that looked fairly interesting. I mean, if you want to use it to get fit, yeah, why not? I think it's one of the reasons it's there. They had Disgaea 6, Defiance of Destiny. Now, I've not played any of the Disgaea games, so I wasn't really sure what was happening. It just looks like a turn-based battle game. You get, funnily enough, you get stronger as you keep dying, which is strange. So in my eyes, I'd just keep getting killed. And then you reincarnate somewhere else, and then you just continue the story.
Yeah. Well, you play as a zombie like protagonist, so I suppose it in a way makes sense that if you die you come back stronger. But
Yeah.
I've not played. I've heard of the series, but I've never really looked into what's really popular about them. So it's not one on the list, unfortunately.
Yeah, one of the things that I tweet from it is eventually you'll get to face the God of Destruction. I'm like, oh, it's Beerus from Dragon Ball. They're gonna do a crossover, but yeah, that's not going to happen. But that was just what I thought about it. One nice thing they have done with the Disgaea series is they're going to make Disgaea 5 complete free to play from the 23rd to the 29th of September. So if you've not played the series before, then you can give it a go and see what you think before potentially jumping into number 6. So I think that was nice. Yeah, they're going to come out with a few more games. So there's a few like quick things that they did near the end. So they're going to bring out Sniper Elite 4 for the Switch.
Good game.
That looks quite good.
You need to play more.
So that's going to come out in 2020. And then there's a few games coming out this month. So I'm just going to rattle them off, and we can see if anything takes anybody's fancy. So a game called The Long Dark. Now this looked really interesting to me. It looks like it's a story-driven survival game. So that's out right now, actually. So that's available if anyone wants to play that. PGA Tour 2K21. That's out on the 25th of September. A game called Hades. Just looks like a generic dungeon crawler to me. But that's out now. And
Balan Wonderworld.
Balan Wonderworld.
Oh, yeah.
This looked really good. Like, it's a really colourful, fun-looking game. It looks kind of like Alice in Wonderland-esque. So this game, it's got 12 different stages. And you go through the stages, and as you go through, you get access to different costumes. And they can give you powers to help you traverse the stages. And there's over 80 different costumes, so you get a good bit of variety there. And as you go along, you've got to collect these statues to enable you to get to new stages. And at the end of each stage, you've got a boss battle. There's also a co-op in there as well, so you can give a Joy-Con to a friend and you can do co-op play, which is always nice. So you can go through levels together. So that was one of the ones that really stuck out for me, because it just looked really nice. So that one is out on the 26th of March 2021 as well. And then what else did we have? Oh yeah, we had Rune Factory 5. So this was like a new RPG style game. So you can start the game as either a man or a woman. You don't get any memories when you start. And you start as a park ranger. Like, so if you've not got any memories, how can you work as a park ranger? Anyway, that's just my interpretation. So you do general RPG things like harvest crops. You can fish. You can start relationships that can evolve into marriage if you wanted to. And there's some battle elements there as well.
What, in the marriage?
In the marriage, well, yeah, as is life.
Yeah.
And then they came out with one last thing. This is one that I really like the look of. I've not played the first one, but Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Now, this is like a really beautiful game. Because I like animals as well, so that's always helpful. And the music was just like spot on, like in terms of the trailer. It just all fitted together so well. But yeah, so that's out. When is it out? Oh, it's out now.
I'll say it was out pretty much that day.
Yeah, I think on the day of the direct, they said, right, this is out now. So yeah, go and get it. So that's a nice platforming game. And there's also a collector's edition for that as well. So you get like art books and things. So yeah, it looks really nice.
It's the second Microsoft Game Studios that's on Nintendo Switch after the first Ori game. Ori and the is it Blind Forest, I think it is. I could be wrong.
I don't know.
I think it's something like that. But yeah, it's interesting.
So, did either of you watch the Ubisoft Forward event?
I didn't.
Unfortunately, did not know.
Okay, I'll just do a quick run through it then. I won't go into details because I didn't make extensive notes. So
I only made
Shut up.
one note out of that.
So they showed off Immortals Phoenix Rising, although Phoenix is spelt F-E-N-Y-X.
Yeah.
So I thought it was Phoenix.
FedEx.
Immortals Phoenix Rising.
FedEx.
So is this the game that was previously called Gods and Monsters?
It was, yeah.
I think they changed it, didn't they? Yeah.
Well, there's apparently, according to sources, the reason they had to change their name was to avoid a potential lawsuit from the Monsters
Monster
Energy.
drink. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
how would
It's
you
just-
get that confused though? It's just Godzilla.
It's not exactly the same thing, is it?
No. Like, did they try and sue Godzilla when they had the second film out? You know, King of Monsters. We're gonna get confused about that.
Yeah. It's
Such a weird.
a bit daft, isn't it?
I mean, Ubisoft have come out and said that's not why they changed it, but I'm like,
Well, that game's going to get a free exclusive demo on Stadia.
cool.
And,
That's back again.
yeah.
That seems to be lingering.
The game releases on the 3rd of December.
Mm.
And then there's the remake of Prince of Persia, The Sand of Times.
Oh yes, votes this.
Love that.
Never
The
played
original's
it.
so good.
Yeah, no, I know that's a bit of considered a bit of a classic. That releases on January the 21st. So then there's a bit about Hyperscape, which I have zero interest in. There's just a lot of like esport players going whoa after they shot things.
Yeah, another battle
just
royale
like-
game. That's what we need.
Yeah, it's just that. To be honest, I don't really care about. I think it's people like that that ruin esports. It's just the actual esport players.
Well,
the
the
hype-
people that get
the
excited
hype
about
guys.
it.
It's just so over the top though. And they just like whoa, shouting! I shot
Well,
something! Yeah.
Well, when you've put 10,000 hours into learning a game and you win, you've got to feel something about it.
Not
To be fair, once you lose, then all the swear words come out. I know I do.
Rainbow Six Siege World Cup. Speaking of esports, that got announced.
Cool.
Yeah. So they had this trailer where it looked like they were talking about the actual World Cup. We all like everybody wearing their
Jerseys.
jerseys and all that, getting like
Oh.
flags cut into their hair and all that.
I keep on forgetting that esports teams have like official
And then-
jerseys and stuff.
I think I'm going to be sick. It sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, anyway, and that's going to get that, but that's going to get a free upgrade for next generation Rainbow Six Siege. But they said this was apparently a 10-year thing. This game, I'm just like, why? It's such. The thing is, I quite liked it when it launched because of the sort of style of what you're doing. You know, you're just, you're doing the
The
siege.
team-based
aren't you?
access for it.
Yeah.
The team-based.
When you play the likes of Call of Duty and then you go back to Rainbow Six Siege, it feels so clunky to play Siege. Now, I know you're not supposed to play them in the same way. I know it's not a run and shooter and all that business. I know you're supposed to be tactical. But it's just slow. It just feels so slow compared to things like in terms of just things like turning and moving. Just it feels bad. It needs a better engine.
to be fair,
I stopped playing Siege a long time ago because I just thought it felt awful.
Let's do it. Let's play it tonight.
Should we go back? Any FPS that I play after Call of Duty, it just immediately feels slow to me. I'm like, I feel like Call of Duty is the pinnacle of like SPS
it's like
movement and feel.
I'm not saying it needs to be Call of Duty because I know that's not what you do in
No,
the game.
no, yeah.
But it needs to play better. It's just,
I think I'm with you.
okay. I just don't like it. It's it just needs a.
I think for PC it's fine. It'd be fine on PC, but I think for console,
yeah, maybe. But yeah. And then they had Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the game, complete edition for the 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
Never played it.
Have you seen the film?
No, I've not watched the film actually.
I need to watch.
I know it's supposed to be quite good.
Yeah, it is a really good film.
I
Yeah,
need to watch it.
watched it at the cinema when it came out. It's cool.
But it's
Do
got.
you remember those old things, cinemas?
What's his name? Who's in it? Michael Cera, is it?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. The lead actor.
Yeah.
There's quite a few. I was
The one
surprised.
the one who always plays like the awkward kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just going to say the awkward guy. Yeah.
I was surprised that Chris Evans was in it.
Which one?
Was he one of the boyfriends?
I think he
were,
was.
weren't
Yeah,
he?
he's one of the
Yeah.
boyfriends.
Oh yeah. Then we had Watch Dogs Legion, another video for them. But this one seems to be focused on the music. Well, it had like an in-game music video with Stormzy.
Oh, that's because he's in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ubisoft saying that they were like asking fans, "Oh, what current music says most about London and like this, the way London is now?" And apparently, all their feedback was a lot of people said Stormzy. Apparently, so they managed to get him in the game.
I'd probably say the Sex Pistols, maybe. The is it Anarchy in the?
Not modern now, are they? Yeah, Anarchy.
Well, not modern, but you know.
Yeah. I am looking forward to Legion. I do think it looks good, but this Stormzy thing, it's a thing. I know some people are like that. And then they finished off with a game called Riders Republic.
Ooh, this looks really intriguing to me.
Well, to me, this is just like typical Ubisoft, because they seem to have one of these games like every few years, where it's just like a mass online thing where everybody gets thrown into one world and they just do sports. Because obviously they've got Trials, and to me, this is a combination of Trials and Steep. And did you ever play Steep? So that's like a Wii world game.
Yeah.
So to me, this just seems like a combination of them two, and they've just thrown them together.
I thought it was kind of like more of a combination between Steep and another one of their open worlds one. I think The Crew, yeah.
Yeah, The Crew, yeah.
The
It is a
Crew
bit like
did
that as
that
well,
with
yeah.
cars.
Yeah, but this is the thing with Ubisoft. They keep having these very similar games. It's just like a lot of people...
And they keep on not working out
like
how they want
it.
Yeah.
That's why they keep releasing these other ones.
It's like, this idea will work eventually.
Yeah, it's like, you will buy this game, you will play it. I'm just like...
To be fair, I thought this one looked more interesting to me than what The Crew and Steep did for me. Because there's more variety to it, isn't there? They had like... they had cycling, more bikes. They had the skiing stuff once they get into snow.
But there was no gameplay. That's the thing.
There's never gameplay.
It was a lot of CGI stuff, and it's just gonna. It's not gonna run as smooth as they think. It's not gonna look as good as those trailers make it look at. It really isn't. It's just gonna look a mess.
More likely than not.
I think with all those players, if he's gonna have that many players at once, it's just gonna in like one race. It's just gonna be a mess. I think. I think it's just gonna slow down your console.
Probably.
Not for me. Not for me.
We'll see.
My final bit of news I got is I watched the latest, the episode 3 of the Night City Wire for Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, nice.
Didn't glean a lot from this, but they did show off some of the gangs. So there's like different gangs throughout the city that you can interact with. So you can't. I think they said you can't join them, but you like do mercenary work for them and things like that.
Okay.
But also, you actually start the game with you can actually there's 3 paths in the game.
Okay.
So you can either be a street kid, so you choose this at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So a street kid, so it's like you know your way about the streets of Night City. So you were born and raised on the mean streets of Night City. You work your way up through like the criminal underworld or that kind of thing.
Was it in West Philadelphia?
Born and raised.
Born and raised.
On the playground where I spent most of my days. Yeah. But then you've got Nomad. So you actually start that on the outskirts of the city, in the desert. What was the name? The Badlands.
Yeah.
So, like, you've previously left. I can't remember. You'd either previously left Night City or you were just stayed in outside.
Stayed on the outside of it. Yeah.
But then you're trying to get into Night City as you progress through the game.
Oh, cool.
Well, the third one actually really intrigued me. The third one's called Corpo, and that's you're in a corporate business in the city.
Oh yeah.
So you like start as like some sort of boardroom member or something. So you're actually at the top, and then I don't know how you progress from that, but that sounded really interesting. Like he started off in like some business world. So I quite like all 3 of them. So
Yeah.
The
I mean,
older
that gives it a
generation-
lot of replayability because you can just start again with
Yeah.
a different option.
But CD Projekt Red haven't said that this game's story is shorter than The Witcher 3 because they found that a lot of people hadn't completed The Witcher 3 story. So they purposely made this shorter. But
Well, I know I've started it, but I've only got about a couple hours in.
you started it.
I know it's a massive game.
Yeah. But this is the game I'm really wanting now. This is the one for me. So excited for this. I'm wanting my PS5 on release day though, so I can play this on release day because they come out on the same day.
Yeah.
Is this number one game once you get the PS5?
Yeah, assuming I can get it.
If you don't get the PS5, would you still get on PS4?
No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold off.
You're not gonna do the whole upgrade thing because
You're
they're
going to
doing
play it in the best way possible.
Yeah, I don't want to start it and then get significant through the game and then.
Well, have they confirmed that they can do like cross-platform, cross-generation saves?
Well, I assume they are, but it's just the visuals.
The visuals, yeah.
I just want to keep. I just want the best version. We've waited for this game for so long.
No, well,
Yeah. What's a month or two?
Yeah, I'll hold off until I can play it the best possible way. I mean, it's going to be hard because I do really want to play this game, but it's needs must. So I will hold off and play it on the best way. And plus, it'll be a cracking way to start playing on PS5. This game. So.
What? Not Miles?
I think I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to get it early, but I want to play that around Christmas because that's.
Oh, it's set around Christmas.
Yeah, it looks like it's set around Christmas, so I think it'd be a good one to play around.
Makes sense.
I've seen. Did we speak about Spider-Man earlier? Because I did like.
We did, yeah.
Oh, well, I don't think I got involved. I was trying to pre-order my PS5 when you were talking earlier.
Oh yeah.
It won't have it anyway.
Look at him
It kept saying it was out of stock. No, but the bit where he was walking through the market, I thought that looked really nice.
It did, yeah.
That was probably one of the more impressive things that I saw in the whole showcase. Just the whole how everything looked, reflection in the puddles, puddles.
The puddles.
There's too much puddles now.
Wasn't that a thing from the last one? That's something.
So one of the earlier gameplay trailers they showed from the first Spider-Man, there was a set amount of like a massive puddle within like the construction site fight. But then I think they showed it again at a later time, and then like the puddle was reduced or something.
Oh, so do you think this was this was an in joke?
Yeah,
showing the
probably. Yeah. Oh, you want puddles? Here's all.
Yeah. Oh, we'll show you. Check it out.
Everything looked really nice. The lighting, the amount of people that were in that marketplace. That was
yeah, it did look good.
I hope the drivers are better on this game because I nearly got run over playing first one. I was walking through a zebra crossing, and really you're supposed to wait until somebody's crossed before you carry on driving. But they nearly ran me over.
I'm going, you're Spider-Man. Why are you walking across the side?
Yeah, why
are you swinging?
No, I was Spider-Man, but I was doing the Peter Parkour character.
Oh, right.
Peter Parkour.
Yeah, that's what I hope. I hope the driving's better from the people.
Cool.
From the people. All right. Well, I'm out of news. Anybody else?
Nothing.
That's a no.
No, I'm done.
Right. Go on then. Oh, wait. I'll go real quick. I've got a couple of pieces of news. I'll try and blast through.
Couple pieces.
Yeah. So before the Direct Mini that Nintendo had, I think it might have been about a week prior actually. They announced a new game in the Hyrule Warriors series. They're called Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. The game is it's in a weird place of being a sequel to Hyrule Warriors, which was a play on the Dynasty Warriors series. If you've ever heard of Dynasty Warriors,
yeah, it uses the same engine.
Yeah, so you play one character, fight about 100 different enemies at once and stuff. It's for some people it's pretty fun. This was like my first Warriors game that I ever played. I actually quite enjoyed a lot of the stuff they did for the Hyrule one. But this new one is going to be a sequel to Hyrule Warriors, but it's also acting as a prequel to The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. So it's going to be set 100 years prior to that game, during what was known as the Great Calamity, story-wise, which you kind of saw cutscenes with in the game. But now this Hyrule Warriors is going to be actually set during those events. So I think that's actually a pretty cool way of showing that kind of side of what happened in Breath of the Wild.
I can imagine a lot of people that play Breath of the Wild that might not really be into the Dynasty Warrior style of game. It'll kind of like shoehorn a few of them into it because they want to know more about the lore behind what happened.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty good way as well for tying people over until obviously Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. So that'll be really interesting. That's coming out on the 20th of November this year, so it's in a bit of a bad spot in terms of what games are coming out around it and maybe what consoles are coming out around it.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I don't end up getting, well, you could delay it, couldn't they? I suppose everyone that's got a Switch could get it. So
I mean, I guess maybe they're good for that other market.
They might do,
just in case you're not. For those who aren't interested in these other consoles.
Yeah. So so that would go announced. Two more quick things. I think I might have mentioned this in the last podcast or on the previous one, but Rocket League has a definitive date on when it's going free to play. So that's going to be on the 23rd of September. So about a day after this podcast comes out, everyone's going to have access to it, which is going to be fun. At the moment, you can now sync up all your accounts under one cross-platform progression profile. So that was pretty cool. I did that yesterday, so that's great. And then one quick one that Mark will be very happy to hear about. So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 has become the fastest selling game in franchise history, which managed to sell 1 million copies in 10 days. So
yeah,
I think the future might be looking bright for Mr. Hawk.
Yeah, it does make me wonder what's next though. A new game or three? I think it's got to be a 3 and 4.
New game or 3?
No, I'd like to see 3 and 4.
Could you see 3 being made as DLC for 1 and 2? Because I've heard 4 was different in its systems compared to the first 3 games, so it might be a little bit more difficult to kind of tack down, maybe.
I don't know, because they sort of implemented things from latest into this new one, into this 1 and 2. Because not everything you couldn't do everything that's in this 1 and 2 in the original games. True.
But it was like the first 3 games were all about.
They'll find a way.
Well, I'm sure they will, but it's it can only be on the up for Mr. Tony Hawk. So
yeah, and then after that they can do the underground ones remastered 1 and 2.
I don't think we'd get them. I think we just get 3 and 4, then maybe a new one. But the trouble is with the new one is that it's
5 with that. Well, 6 was the last one, wasn't it?
5.
5,
no,
yeah.
5.
Well, 5 with that rubbish that you don't want. You don't want them to.
Remaster 5.
No. No.
Said
Just
nobody ever.
no.
So yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Ooh. Do apologize. There's the one last piece of news I forgot. I completely forgot. This was linked over to the Nintendo thing that Nathan mentioned. On Friday, Nintendo have officially, well, last Friday, should I say, they've officially discontinued the Nintendo 3DS.
Boo.
So it is officially dead, unfortunately.
Poor 3DS.
You are dead.
Yeah. It had a nice life, some pretty good games on it.
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
3DS RIP.
It
That's
was
longer than the Vita, at least.
It's a fantastic Pokemon machine. I'll give it that. Some great Pokemon games on there.
It's not the mic, so. Right, I'm out of news.
Okay, so what we're playing?
Feel all upset now.
What we're currently playing? Go on, Nate.
What we're playing?
You start us
Yeah,
off.
what we all playing.
Right, rather than what we're playing, what we're buying, what we bought.
Oh god.
Keeping on the Pokemon hype. Pokemon Silver. Got that. Pokemon Blue.
Right. I'm going to ask a really.
And Pokemon Ruby. Now ask your question.
Right. I'm going to ask a real noob question because I don't know anything about Pokemon.
Noob.
What is with the colour differences? I don't understand what the differences are.
Right.
When you say Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Red, right? And I know there's somewhere they launch at the same time, don't they? So they have like Sword and Shield. So are they separate games?
They're separate games, but they're in the same Pokemon world or Pokemon Island or series of islands. So first they were Pokemon Red and Blue in PAL regions. I won't talk about Green. Right, so you got Red and Blue, and that's in Kanto, one region in the Pokemon world.
Right.
Yeah. So you play pretty much the same game, but you get a different starter, and you can see different Pokemon that make up all the Pokemon in that region.
Oh wait.
But would you buy both?
Yeah.
Or would you only buy one?
You buy them both, so you can access all the Pokemon in that region. So they've split it up, so you only see certain Pokemon on one game and certain Pokemon on another.
That to me seems a bit shady. Don't you think?
When
you think about it,
but when you think about it, is what I think the main reason why they wanted to do it is they wanted to encourage people
to trade,
playing together,
spread more money,
and spread more money.
Right to get right. I see.
You
can trade with other people. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you had to have like the trade link cable, the good old days. Link both Game Boys up, and then
so that was a way to try and make sure a lot of people had different Pokemon. That's the thing. Is that what
in effect? So like there'd be a selection of Pokemon that were missing in one that's in the other, and kind of vice versa. But they also made certain Pokemon they could get on both, only to be able to evolve into its next stage by trading. So they really encouraged the whole kind of being able to play together in effect. I think that's what their aim was. But this kind of continued on into pretty much every single version.
Generation shift. It started off with like Red and Blue, and then there's Gold and Silver. But then after that, they started incorporating like a third game that had all the Pokemon.
No, I don't think they did they? Because do you remember they had Pokemon Yellow?
Oh, they had Yellow,
which was part of Red and Blue. But that was also missing some Pokemon that you could only get in Red and Blue.
Mm-hmm.
It was is weird how they implemented it. They made it so that like every third game in each generation,
you get all the legendaries on the third game.
You could do that in Red and Blue as well.
Could you?
Yeah, you can get Articuno.
Oh, yeah, but you can't get all of the starters, the standard, like you can in Yellow.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, there was some stuff missed out, yeah. As you said before, whether it's legendaries or starters, there's some stuff you don't get in each of the games to try and get people to trade and stuff. But yeah, basically every Pokemon region has 3 games or so, up until it got to Pokemon
Black and White.
I want to say Black and White, and then they did Black and White 2, which like expanded the story. And then they've done remakes since. But yeah, it can be quite confusing. Because there's how many generations of Pokemon are we on now? Is it 7? 8? 8? Yeah.
Well, there you go, listeners. If you
weren't confused
Pokemon
before,
like me, then
you'll be confused now.
Yeah, you still don't know much.
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
Yeah. So I bought them. I wanted to fill in some gaps in my Pokemon games that I've not got. I've still got loads that I'm missing, so I'll try and fill that out because I want to get one of every single main Pokemon game. So sod Pokemon Dungeon, don't care about that. But yeah, so that's what I've bought in terms of games. I did actually try playing Pokemon Silver, so I got my Cyndaquil, so that's my starter Pokemon.
It's not a Pikachu, Mark.
It's not a Pikachu. Pikaquill. Anyway, and I got about 2 hours in, and I switched. Well, I saved it and switched the game off, and I found that my game had not saved because the battery's dead inside the game. Because basically, for the game save to survive, the battery has to have power to basically boot the save. So I've now had to go and purchase a soldering iron and the particular battery that I need to fix it. So
wait,
yeah, nice.
didn't it have a save before?
No, it started as a new game, so I thought they just reset it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so that's going to come next week. So we'll see how that goes. I'll either ruin the game forever, get solder everywhere, or I'll fix it and start my Pokemon Silver journey.
I think you should. I think you should record yourself doing it.
There'll be a lot of Fs and Jeffs if I did that. I might do it actually. Right. We'll see. Just get Lisa there recording it behind me, like bird's eye view style. Anyway, yeah. In terms of what I've been playing, more importantly, I've not played much, to be honest. I've played Spider-Man, completed that.
Nice one.
Thoughts?
So, really enjoyed it. Like when I'm not really into, well, like Spider-Man or Batman that much in terms of like all the lore, but the game was just amazing. The Amazing Spider-Man. Who would have thunk it? But yeah, it took me on a bit of an emotional roller coaster. Like the combat was fantastic. Like all the hits, they do feel good, especially when you catch it right. Like so, you can use your webs to like grab things and spin them around and hit people. Like it felt like it had so much weight behind it, and like you felt like doing all your flips and when you dodge things, it all felt great. I think I was playing on like very easy difficulty, so it made me look fantastic, which I liked. I don't know about you guys, but I sometimes just went on it just a web sling for about 10-15 minutes just to go around the city to see what was going on.
I think everyone's done that at some point.
Yeah, it's got the best web sling in any Spider-Man game. So really nice. I like swinging and then doing the little like flips and tricks that you can do. That's fun.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was one of my favorite aspects. But yeah, the story side were great. A lot of it fairly predictable. But yeah, I'm going to say a spoiler here. There's a bit near the end.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Where I thought we were going to have to make a decision whether we were to let Aunt May live but kill everybody else, or vice versa. And it took that decision out of my hands, thankfully. But saying that, you were upset that she died because I was like, oh. It's Aunt May.
Oh, Aunt May.
Yeah.
You make it sound
honestly, I did get a little bit choked up. I didn't cry or shed a tear, but it punched me. Like it's as if I broke up with a girlfriend that I'd been together with for 2 weeks. It was that kind of thing.
What? Just 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah, that's that level. So yeah. I also really liked the post credit cutscenes. I think they really pushed the story on a lot. Definitely in terms of the relationship between Miles and Peter. I thought that was a really nice moment between them two. And then the same with what's his Osborn, is it?
Norman.
Norman going into the secret lab that you went into as Mary Jane earlier in the game, and then finding that his son's there all along. It never went away.
Yep.
So yeah, really interested to play the next one because it's going to be Miles' story next. I don't know whether they are going to incorporate any of the stuff that we saw at the end of the game.
Oh,
I don't know. Or are they going to save it for a Peter expansion because it's kind of his story? So I suppose we'll see.
No, hang on. Let's not have a Peter expansion. Let's just have a Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, let's just have Spider-Man 2. We don't need a Peter expansion.
Poor phrasing there. Yeah.
I think for Miles, they just need to incorporate some of his own villains, and then probably through maybe collectibles in the world or something, just layer a bit more backstory to maybe what's happened in the previous game.
Yeah.
A bit more into like what happened to Harry and what's that thing on him that we don't know, but wink, we do.
Yeah. We all know it's the symbiote, I think.
Oh, what are you ruining it for? Spoilers, come on.
I want him to bring Tom Hardy in to do it. That'd be fantastic.
No.
Anyway.
Bad.
Yeah, another game that I started playing. I'm only about an hour in, but I started playing Death Stranding.
Oh, I'm interested to hear your
Ooh.
views on this. Because I've completed Death Stranding.
Oh, that's nice.
I've only got a few hours into it.
And I wrote a blog post, which, dear listeners, you can read on the website.
On the website jokingdolphin.com. Your blog post was one of the reasons that made me want to buy and play the game, because it did seem very interesting. So,
go on.
So you start out as Norman Reedus, and it's a few.
Wait, you are.
He's not Norman Reedus. You are Norman Reedus.
Yes, you are Norman Reedus.
I don't even know I don't know what his game name is.
Sam Bridges.
What is it? Sam Bridges.
Yeah.
Right.
Sam
Bridges. It's funny that his name's Porter. Anyway, yeah. So he's a futuristic UPS man, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Futuristic postman.
And yeah, there's these like invisible creatures that come around and they can kill you. Yep. And certain people have certain levels that they can see them, and some people can't. Yeah. Honestly, my mind was just exploding through it all. And then when the baby thing got whipped out, I'm like, "What the heck are you? What are you carrying a robotic fetus around for?"
Well, it's the BB. It's the BB that helps them see
robotic.
the BTs.
Yeah.
Why would you want? I think ignorance is bliss. I'd throw that thing away. I don't want to see that.
Harsh.
Okay. So
anyway, I got to the end of like the first kind of. Well, I survived my little encounter and saw that woman, and then I went off and collected a few parcels. That were difficult because I kept falling over a lot.
Yes.
So I had to use like R2 and L2 to try and steady myself.
Yeah, pretty much. If you just hold those buttons, you'd pretty much be all right.
Yeah, if you hold them both, you'll be fine.
Yeah. So yeah, the landscape's beautiful, isn't it?
It
really nice.
Really
it's
nice
one of the most unique landscapes I've played in a game so far. Yeah, it's really different.
You've really got to be careful about like every step you take.
Yeah,
because you could just plummet down a cliff quite easily.
To be honest, when I first started playing, I started running around and I was falling over without any packages.
Yeah. Did you do your inventory management on your back, like moving things around on your back to make sure the weight is distributed correctly?
I've not done that yet. I was just popping stuff on. Like
I don't do that. I just automatically do it. I'm like, no.
Well, there is an auto button in it which puts it like optimizes it into the right one. But
yeah,
it comes to certain points where you've got to like deliver certain things in a timely fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going through what was it called? Timefall? That's what it was it? The rain in it, which basically damages parcels.
Oh,
sort of like
it ages them, doesn't it?
Yeah. So then you've got to try and like put those under the ones at the top,
right?
So that they're not hit by the rain first. You got to think about things like that. It's like there's one mission where you've got to take pizzas to somebody. Yeah,
pizzas in there.
But you can't. But obviously, because it's a pizza, you can't stack it sideways. So you've got to try and have it level on top.
Oh wow!
And you've got to think about these sort of things. And there's certain items like I think there's bottles of champagne or something like that, and you can't put them on the back. You've got to carry them in your hands.
Oh, doesn't champagne get finer with age? So yeah, more that rain.
I don't think the glass will.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you have to be quite tactical about the way you carry certain things. But
yeah.
So, what's your thoughts then? Are you going to keep going or?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's done enough to make me carry on as Norman Reedus UPS man.
Because the early stages are chapter 1 to I think it's 3.
Yeah.
That's like the long haul.
I think I've got to the end. I don't know where I am. I'm at that bit. Do you know one of the first trailers we saw where you look out? I've just come from being underwater, and then you look out and there's all them like animal carcasses everywhere.
Yeah.
Then you find the baby. I've spoken to that hologram dude.
There's a lot of hologram dudes.
No,
Yeah, that's true.
the first hologram dude, if that helps.
Is it the one in the city or one outside of it?
Is it the one with the mask?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's his name? The one who's basically your guide throughout most of it.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I've spoken to him.
I forgot. His name.
Oh,
Forgot his name.
it's not like Dead Man, is it?
Dead Man is
He's the
Guillermo
doctor
del Toro.
guy, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So far, it's just been
Oh
really
no,
weird.
I know you. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
can't-
gonna. Oh, sorry, go on, Matt.
No, sorry, I was gonna say I can't think of his name, but I can see him. So.
Yeah, just the fat guy, the fat German dude, or
it's not
Dutch.
that, man.
No, that's Dead Man.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Right. Anyway.
Real life character.
So yeah, it's done enough to make me continue with the game because I'm
Die
intrigued
Hardman.
to see what happens. Oh, Die Hardman. Okay.
Die Hard. That's it.
And I'll see what happens. I think I'm going to carry on playing it today, and see where I get to. But it's strange. It hurts my
Right.
cerebral cortex just thinking about it. It's
Yeah,
But-
there's a lot to it.
but all my answers will be answered eventually, I imagine.
Well,
We'll see. Oh, don't say
You're
that to me,
playing
Mark.
a Hideo Kojima game. You think you'll get answers, but there's just more questions on top
yeah,
of this.
you'll just end up with more questions. And
Yeah.
Well-
So
yeah. Anyway, well, good. I'm glad you've not just discarded it. Kind of thought you might have done actually.
Yeah.
live.
Oh, you have little faith.
I'll get back.
You played anything else?
No, that's it.
Go on then.
Me. All right. Well, outside of the usual, I suppose. I did buy on Friday the Super Mario 3D All Stars game,
Oh, nice.
which is what we talked about in the previous pod. So it's the collection of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy in one collection.
Mhm.
Really enjoying it so far. I like that they've just kind of upscaled the resolution and kind of still kept the old time feel of the games. I've never played Galaxy and I've not touched that one yet. The one I've played most so far is Sunshine, because that's probably really where my childhood kind of grew into it.
Mhm.
I still think Sunshine's a really good Mario game. I know it gets a bit of stick online.
Yeah, some people don't like the basically the mechanics of what you got to do.
Yeah, they don't like how it's a lot of the mechanics are tied around FLUDD, the I suppose the mechanical water pump that's on your back. But I still loved it. What I don't like is the levels that were made without the FLUDD. So when you go into like the portals and then FLUDD gets stolen from you by the Shadow Mario. Those levels are still so hard, ridiculously hard. I hate them. Hate them with a passion. And then I've played so much of the 64, which gives me some good nostalgia feels. Although Mario is a lot more sliddy than I remember. Maybe it's just my like rose-tinted glasses that have gone there. I'm like, it was the perfect 3D platformer when it came out, and now that like so much
They've
has come
ruined
out.
it.
Yeah, so much has come out since, like, even like the Crash and Spyro remasters were brilliant. Just playing old school 64 is just like, jeez, you just slide everywhere, and why are you so hard to control? Like, I'm gonna revert back to like 7-year-old me or something to try and play again.
Yeah.
But that's been pretty good. Outside of that, the only other thing that I played a lot of recently has been Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh, I've not played that in so long.
Yeah, it's been a while since I touched it. Went back on it. I just have a lot of fun with it now. It's got to a point where it's really good to play, and you don't have to worry about microtransactions. Even like, I mean, certain people spend too many hours in the game, and immediately get enough points to be the heroes, who are then just end up just being the hero characters throughout the entire game, and just absolutely kick the living poop out of you. Which isn't fun, but they've really nailed. I think they really nailed it this time around. I think just the bad publicity of the microtransactions really killed this progression. But I mean, once they eliminated that and they said all content we're going to be free afterwards, it's a really nice game. Really enjoy it. I don't know if it was better than the classic Battlefront 2. I think classic Battlefront 2 was really good. They
That was good.
They nailed everything of like the feeling of Star Wars, and I liked that it limited so you only had one hero per team, so only one person could be a hero, which I think was fair. And then the hero has like so much, like they have their life bar like deplete over time unless they get kills, so you can't just like take damage and hide away being a hero and get to keep your health and stuff. I think I preferred it like that, but I also prefer it over the remake of the first Battlefront, which was literally just if you can find the hero token on the map, you get to be the hero. It's like, wow. There's just people you can see just camping where the token's going to be. They're not actually playing the game. It's like, what's the point in that? Stupid. But yeah, no, I think it was they've done a lot better with it, and I'm enjoying it, so it's good. So yeah, what have you been playing, Mark?
Well, I went back on Assassin's Creed Origins. Still haven't done the crocodile yet. I can
like me,
yeah, I can see why.
I think this is the fourth podcast that you've mentioned this.
Yeah, two by me and two by Mark.
I won't say anything to spoil it, but there's some grim stuff in it. I've just done a mission before getting to the crocodile, which is pretty grim. You probably know what I'm talking about.
I think it does get
grim.
dark.
A bit dark.
It's a bit sad.
Yeah, but you just feel like this game is never ending. It's like every time I move to a different area, it's just like another side mission just pops up, and I'm just like, I've got 14 side missions still to do, and there's like 2 main missions to go, and I'm just like, am I ever? Because the things I feel like I need to do the side missions now before I carry on with the main story, but they just end up taking so long to do.
It gets to a point where you do need to grind the side missions a bit because your level's just going to be a bit.
Yeah, that's like
not going to install the areas.
Because what's happening is that a bunch of side missions are showing up, but then it's like doing red and saying you've not reached this level yet. So then I've got to wait, do like another main mission or another side mission, and then suddenly that one becomes available to do because I've leveled up, and then I just keep continually like never-ending cycle of just doing side missions. But it's just like I don't know when I'm going to finish this, and then I've got to do Odyssey as well. It's just
I've not touched Odyssey. I need to get around to it, but I've heard that's even longer than Origins.
It is, yes,
and it's put me off already.
It's like, well, I think Valhalla is a game I can wait. To be honest, it's not. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but it's not like one of my ultra eager ones. Yeah, it's B level.
I think most Assassin's Creeds I've waited on. Not gone from launch, so.
Yeah, I think. I don't even know if I've ever bought one on launch. I didn't even buy Black Flag on launch.
I might have.
Because I bought Black Flag because didn't Black Flag originally come out on PS3? Is that right? And then there was a PS4 version as well.
Yes, I think.
Because I only bought the PS4 version. I didn't play PS3. I don't think. Oh, I might have bought Syndicate. Might have been. I might have bought that on launch. That's the London one, isn't it?
I feel like I did buy one of them on launch. I might bought.
I definitely didn't buy Unity on launch. I can tell you that because that had very popular reviews to begin with.
No, I think it was a bit unfair. To be fair, I think out of all the Assassin's Creed, it's actually probably the nicest looking one. Funnily enough.
Eventually.
Eventually, like once they sorted the bugs out and stuff, I just think it's
Where you
really
can just see like the innards of people's faces. It's just floating eyeballs on top. It's like what?
That might actually make me play it.
Also, I'll be playing the, of course, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. I've now completed all the challenges for the Creator Skater.
Oh, nice one.
That means I've now unlocked Officer Dick, aka Jack Black. It's good fun to play as. Yeah, that's good. And it also unlocks the Bales video, which I forgot about in the Tony Hawk's games. So basically, it's the videos where people just falling over, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, the fails.
Yeah, that's good. Now, you remember how last time I spoke about I was having trouble getting online with it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So me and my brother, we ended up like finding some sort of workaround with it. So what we did is we did share play. Now, when I did share play for my PS4, it said my connection was too slow, so it wouldn't be able to do it. But when he did it, it worked. So I could watch his game, right? And then he could pass the controller to me from his game. I could go onto the local multiplayer, play as his character, and then he could use his second pad to play
as you
as a second person. So you could choose a different skater. So then technically we were both playing a local multiplayer game on SharePlay.
That is such a confusing workaround.
Yeah, it worked, but for me, because he was the host.
Oh, I bet you were getting like latency and stuff.
Yeah, it was like delay. So when you're trying to like balance and stuff, that was so tough, and I weren't playing very well. And then just before we actually finished playing that evening, we discovered a proper workaround actually, and how to get into a party. So any listeners who has had trouble signing in by pressing the touchpad, well, this is PS4. I don't know if it works on Xbox, but you press the touchpad and that's where you're supposed to sign into make a party. If you can't do that, when you've got the game open, go onto your dashboard on your PS4, go to your settings, and go to network and do a internet connection test. Once you've done that, go back into your game and then press the touchpad again to try and go into the party, and it should work then. That worked for me. So if you're having trouble with that, try that. So there you go.
That's so
tip from us.
Top tip.
Yeah, top tip. Yeah, and then we actually managed to play like proper online. But
nice.
As I mentioned in the last one, you can't in those when you do it as a party like that. You can only join like other people skating. So there's like 8 people.
Yeah.
And we were playing with like 6 other skaters, and I'm sure there was one guy who was cheating. He was so far ahead on everyone. He was getting like millions of points in like.
Maybe he's just the best player in the world, and everybody else.
In such a short period of time, it was outrageous.
Is this jealousy then? Yeah.
It was it was outrageous. No, but everyone else seemed to be getting like similar levels, scores wise, and then he was just like blitzing like millions of points. It was just like something fishy's going off here.
You should just watched going off here. You should have watched him one game to see what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he should have.
Like he's there just standing still, and he's just something like
points just racking up.
Like how's this guy doing it?
Anyway, no, but it was good fun. It's nice to finally get onto the part, and I'm looking forward to the update that they're going to do later on to try and get horse and things like that into it for parties, because that's what I want to play. Because we did manage to play a bit of horse by that method that I spoke about earlier, that workaround.
Oh yeah.
As I say, because of the lag and all that, it was very difficult to play. So I was struggling in that.
Yeah.
And one last thing I've been playing is the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Alpha.
Oh yeah.
I played a bit of it, not much of it. Actually, I played like a couple of levels on it. The first level I played was in Miami, which looked quite nice.
Oh yeah.
So it's set in like dusk in Miami. Kind of looks. So it's got like the neon lights and all that. So it kind of looks like something out of Vice City.
I thought it could be a quite Vice City vibe. It looked pretty good.
I wasn't very good at it. I was crap, but that always happens at these Call of Duty things. And then then there was another level. I can't remember where it was set though, but it was like on a desert. And that
Afghanistan?
I don't know.
I think there's one in Afghanistan. I'm not sure.
It's got like
if it's Cold War, it might be Kazakhstan. No, wait, Kazakhstan's cold.
I don't know.
Mm.
Don't know. No idea.
It's a deserty place that we know.
It's got like a rock under the Pokeball. So it's got like a rock face. There's like crash planes or something, and then just
Yeah.
a load of
I
sand.
know what you're talking about.
And I have to say that just made me think of Jakku from the Star Wars Battlefront. From quite honest. it just really looked like that.
Yeah, I can see it.
And it was very much a long range based like level, I found.
Mm.
But I actually did pretty well on
Perfect for
that.
snipers.
Did pretty well on that level. But they're the only two things I really played. So it's alright, but
What does it feel
so
like? What does it feel like compared to Modern Warfare? Would you know?
Well, I didn't really play Modern Warfare Online, so I can't really answer that.
No, that's all right.
But this is the thing. Though. It's just like the only Call of Duty that I've really got into the multiplayer is World War II, which I really got into. I got like 7 or 8 prestige on that, which to me is unheard of because like before that I didn't even know what prestige meant. So
actually, I forgot. I played that as well during the last 2 weeks. I was playing that Modern Warfare 2.
I mean,
Modern Warfare 2, World War 2.
I know there's been a lot of things about skill-based matchmaking in the Call of Duties. Yeah, there's been a lot of people about this one in this alpha, but I'm not good enough to get into high lobbies anyway. So
yeah, I see a lot.
Even when I'm in a lobby with noobs, I'm still bad. So
oh, that's when you know it's bad. You're getting killed by the noobs.
Yeah, I hear about it all the time where it's like there should be like 2 playlists essentially, like a casuals playlist where everyone can mix and match, and then like a ranked skill based one where, you know, if you want to test how good you are, then you get to play that. I think the argument is that skill based matchmaking is also slipped into casual playing. So people are really good, but maybe just want to have a mess around on Call of Duty can't really do that because they're getting put into all the tryouts.
Yeah. Well, they need to be not so good then.
Or
stop being so good at the game.
Or you can get good.
Funny enough, a group that I follow on YouTube have actually made like a second account, like to start all over again, so they can like mess about with all the. But what they do, they've gone into like the first game and have initially like gone a really bad KD, so then they can get matched up with like all the other, I guess, players who aren't so good at the game, so then they can mess about and do what they want. Not necessarily like destroy people, but get to like do, I don't know, trick shots or just silly things.
Trick shots.
You know, it's like, you know, jump from a height, do a 360 no scope.
No, I don't know what that's like.
I don't either, but you know, I've seen someone do it to me once. That was cool.
Yeah. Well, it was all right. But I'm not I can't say I'm not one of these people who's like, oh, Call of Duty, the new Call of Duty, yay, great. It's just there was a time when I was only interested in the campaigns.
Yeah.
And then obviously with the Black Ops 3, was it? The one where they didn't have.
Yeah, Black Ops 3 was the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, where they didn't have a story. I'm just like.
Oh no, sorry, Black Ops 4. Sorry.
Is it 4?
Yeah, because
how many there is? God.
Yeah, Black Ops 3 had the really confusing campaign. It starred the guy that's in Law and Order SUV. Had that actor. If you've ever seen that, no.
I don't know. Anyway.
So
like I didn't really take much interest in that Black Ops where there's like no campaign. So, but anyway, I do like the look of campaign in this one from that trailer we spoke about earlier. That did quite good.
Well, I liked the rebooted Modern Warfare campaign. I thought that was really good. I liked that it was a bit more grounded. It didn't feel like explosion Michael Bay's here, you know. Which I think this one's kind of leaning back into, but we'll see how over the top it gets.
Yeah, well, that's what I've been playing anyway. So, Video Game Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Guys, so the Video Game Hall of Fame, this is where we take an in-depth look at a game of high quality or historical importance and induct it into a pantheon of games we feel deserve special recognition. Inducted this episode was released in 2000 on the PC, and in 2003 it saw releases on the PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox. Published by Electronic Arts, developed by Maxis, it's The Sims.
Ooh.
Did you play The Sims when it first came out? No. Did you wait on it?
Not when it first came out, because I didn't really have a PC back then, but I played it subsequently.
Well, this is what happened to me, because I remember buying it when it came, shortly after it came out, and my PC just wasn't capable of running it. So I was kind of disappointed. Yeah. Well, this was 2000, wasn't it? It's a while ago, 20 years ago.
Well, yeah.
I can't believe that thinking about it. 20 years ago.
Nah,
I think I still
10
had
years ago. Come on.
I think I still had like a Windows 95 PC then.
Because remember, I actually bought the game. I actually bought like a big book that came with it.
Yeah.
And it had
It had a big massive box, didn't it? And it had all the installation discs and then a key.
Well, this book I bought, it was like basically a catalogue. So it had like all the items in it and like all the prices and all that kind of thing in it. It was really good.
That's cool.
No idea where it is now though. But
yeah.
But as I say, I couldn't really play the game anyway because So I ended up keeping the catalogue, but not being able to run the game. Well,
I remember getting it when it came out on console. I remember when I got it then for PS2.
Yeah, because they had interesting console versions, didn't they? But there was like it was kind of limited, weren't it? The console versions.
It was a bit limited because I mean the cursor was put onto the left stick, which was like it's basically like a white cell with like what do they call it, like a faded effect on it, so you could see where your cursor was like hovered onto.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. I'm sure they probably removed some stuff for console version. I can't quite remember how much was removed, but there was a limit to it. I remember the co-op mode in it. That was
yeah.
It was a bit messy though.
Yeah, I remember the split screen was kind of like, it was like a diagonal line, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was diagonal. Yeah,
rather than like horizontal or.
Bit of a weird way to go, but
yeah, I don't think
when both characters were on like the same screen, I think it merged, did it? Or am I making that up?
No, you might be right. Yeah, I think when both characters were together, you just had the whole screen, and then once they got so far apart, it would like essentially split the screen so you could see what your characters were doing.
Yeah,
that's quite innovative. So, what's your thoughts on the game then? I mean,
I really like it. Let's face it, it's a time sinker. So I'll start from the beginning. So if anyone that doesn't really know what Sims is all about and they've never played a Sims game before, basically you start a Sims game. You set a character up or a group of characters, for example. So your character can be yourself or somebody else. I normally just set myself up, make myself look more handsome than normal. So you can set how you look. You can give yourself clothes, but then you can give yourself certain traits as well, so you excel in certain aspects of life and level up a bit faster. So once that's done, you can either move into the neighborhood or you can build your own house that you're going to be moving into. So there's a couple of options, and eventually you get into the house, and you start out with no job. So there's a couple of ways you can find a job. So every day you'll get the morning paper. You can look through jobs in there. Or if you've got the DOS, you can buy a computer and then look through job adverts on the computer. And then basically you start a career, and then you can go down a progression path and you can earn more money to buy things for your house. Now, if you were impatient, let's say, and there was money cheats. Does anyone remember what the money cheat was?
Oh, what was it?
It was actually a couple, but
Was it Rosebud?
Rosebud, yeah, correct. Yeah, so you put Rosebud in. You could keep putting that in and getting money. I just used to do that, and I used to pimp my house out to have everything.
You need to have all those Similonians.
Yeah,
Similonians.
Yeah. So and you can work on different things. So you can, for example, buy a telescope, let's say, and like stargaze, and that would put certain meters up, like your happiness meter, and eventually you get friends from work. and then people come and visit you, and you can evolve your relationships. So if there's a girl that you like, you can like ask her out, and then boy, yeah. You can ask them out and just see if it goes well. Then they'll say, yeah, we'll go out, and then the relationship can evolve. If not, they can say, oh, they're not interested, and that's it.
And then everyone gets sad.
Yeah. But I was thinking about this because you've got to monitor, like, if your Sim's hungry, if they need to go to the toilet, if they want some water, for example.
Wants and needs. Yeah.
If they love. I think it's kind of a survival horror game because you've got to stop your Sim from dying. And you've got to manage resources.
It's a survival game, but I wouldn't say horror.
Yeah.
Well, there is the Grim Reaper.
That's true. But you've got to really like
yeah, anyway, that's just like a little thought there while I was thinking about it. So yeah, you can basically get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, get married, have kids, and you can do generations of people on The Sims and just build it from there. It's a life simulator. Yeah. And how deep it went for the time, I think it was fantastic. I mean, there was a lot of things it didn't have. I mean, and that's coming in different iterations of the game because it's still going now. The latest one being Sims 4. But I think you can just get lost in it because you just want to build yourself up.
Yeah, it was a game that became a man. It's like it was. I think it became so popular because it was a way of trying to give yourself a perfect life when you couldn't actually do it in real life.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to build my dream home, which is, I think that's probably my favorite bit. Actually, was actually just designing the house.
Design the house.
And it's like, I never cared about the actual living in it. I never cared. Well, I did. No, that's wrong because I actually liked to live in it, but I used to live like a hermit. It's just like I never went out and did anything like social stuff. I didn't want friends.
You got all upset all the time.
I talked to like one person. So then, like, once you've done that, you can phone them.
Yeah.
And then I just go live like a hermit, and then every now and again, when my social was down, I just give him a ring, and that's it, and then go back to living like on my own.
Very lonely. Talk to me.
But I just feel like I used to like design each individual room like its own thing. So I'd have like an artistic room, like a creative room, and a gym, all this sort of stuff. Design all the floors and ceilings. So like in the gym, you'd have like wooden floors and that kind of thing.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah. And then I used to make homes which were kind of relatively small in sort of like square foot layout.
Yeah.
But high.
Yeah.
So I'd have like a 4-story house.
Just really thin 4-story house.
Yeah. Because I didn't like the going looking over like a long. What am I trying to say? I didn't like having one big 1-floor house. That's what I'm saying.
But didn't the original Sims you only had like the 1 floor? I don't recall.
Actually, maybe in the first one.
I think it was Sims 3 when it introduced the multiple floors in the house.
Yeah, that might be true. Actually, yeah.
I'm sure it's at least Sims 2 that you could have multiple floors.
You could be right. I thought it was 3, like the big thing, but I'm pretty sure the first one it was just one floor. You had to be like a bungalow.
Yeah. The bungalow of dreams.
Yep.
But yeah, I still do like. I just liked looking through all the catalogs of all the items. So if this was really me, what would I buy? Oh, I'll get an easel. That's not said. So, yes,
that's it. Because I can look out at the tree that I bought outside and paint it.
Yeah,
fantastic. A real milestone for me was when I bought a pool. And there's some infamous things that happen with pools in The Sims.
Yes.
So some people, not naming names, i.e. Nathan, would invite people over for swimming. And one thing you can do is remove the steps from the pool. And I don't know why they just didn't get out. You don't need steps.
Surely you can climb outside. Sure.
Stupid idiots.
Well, yeah.
What pool can't you get outside?
Like, it's life and death, mate. Come on. And basically, you can take the steps away so they can't get out of the pool, and eventually they'll die. So yeah, it's quite sadistic.
And then the Grim Reaper showed up. You can actually date the Grim Reaper in the later games.
I
But yeah, that's another thing. So that's quite funny. What else?
Well,
There's
the game had like 7 expansion packs over 4 years.
Yeah.
So,
wow.
I was listening to I was watching an interview with Will Wright. So he was like the head of.
Yeah, he was the
creator of it. And basically, he was saying that this was sort of like the early interpretation of like a subscription service.
Okay.
So they bought like. So over 4 years, they released 7 expansions, and it was like people were willing to pay like $20 for an expansion.
Oh wow!
Continually, for each one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like an early form of subscription, without being a subscription, if that makes sense. So I kind of got a bit miffed with those
expansions
because they ended up not implementing the things in those into the later ones. So, for instance, it's like you could. Okay. There was like a university one, a university.
Yeah.
Expansion.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if that was one for the first game or not.
I think that might be the second one.
I think I recall the second one.
But instead of having that sort of stuff in the third game, they also had another university expansion.
Yeah, for the third game. Yeah.
It's like
they've done it the same for the fourth game.
It's like no, put them into the main game. I have found that as they go on, they seem to have less things in them in the base games.
Well, I recall
Sims 4 the base is actually free. So I think, and then they upsell you on the packages you can get. So the fourth game's actually fairly bare bones, as you say, but they sell the upgrades.
The fourth one recently was on PS Plus, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh.
Yeah.
I don't think I downloaded it. Damn.
I wouldn't really play it on console that much.
See if it's on access when you get your PS5.
Probably not.
But what career path did you go down? I have to say I did like you could have a criminal path.
Yeah, that was good.
That was fun.
Like from pickpocket to like mob boss.
Yeah.
I think I always went down like the scientist route. I think so. Like I think you could start off by being like a coder or something,
like a lab assistant or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that as well. Yeah. Which one was it? The first one that you could do like a hacker.
Oh, there was a hacker, wasn't there? Was that the first game? I can't remember.
I
do remember that being in.
It was in one of them. I think it might have been the third one. But I think in the first game. I think the first game there was like scientists, and I was like doing the law enforcement one as well.
Oh yeah.
But your sim works like really late hours when you do that. Coming in at like 10 in the morning, just like absolutely knackered. It's like, mate, you should be like getting out and doing something social. What's going on?
Yeah, that's it.
Because I remember I'd get a job and then I'd put the money cheat in. So it's like, I don't think it's going to work. So then
that only works.
So when you go to bed, it speeds the time up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then obviously the carpool turns up in the morning, and then the time goes back to normal, doesn't it? So it's because it's waiting for you as a player to get to get to the carpool. And I'm like, nope, speed that time forward.
Yeah, I know
that carpool. I don't need to get up. I have my money. And then you just get told you're fired or something. It's like, I don't need your money anyway.
I'm fired. You're fired. I bought the company.
Yeah. I remember. I don't know if it was the first one, but I like the astronaut career. That was a good one.
Ooh, don't think that was the first one.
Yeah, but I do remember that. The thing about these games, they all blow into one. It's because they're all pretty similar.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I'm probably thinking that Sims is actually Sims 2.
Yeah, this thing. Let's just say we're throwing the Sims.
Yeah, it's just as a whole, Sims. Yeah, as an entity.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, right, since we're talking about Sims as an entity, I can really let loose now. So I did a paper round when I was between the age of 13 and 15. And I thought it'd be a nice brother one Christmas and get my sister Sims because she'd always wanted it. And this was at the time when Sims 2 was out and there was like all the expansions. And I got a Sims 2 Nightlife. And I got it and she opened it. Not knowing, I didn't know this at the time, that I needed this game itself.
Oh, yeah. You need
Sims 2. Oh. Yeah. So I just bought the expansion. It was 30 quid for the expansion, and I were only 9 quid a week. So that was a lot of money for me.
Wow.
And I thought, oh, a really nice brother because she wanted Sims, and I thought this would be a nice one for her because I think she'll enjoy it. And oh, we're devastated. It were horrible. Oh, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Toiling 6 days a week for probably about 3.5 weeks worth of pay for that game that didn't even work. Oh,
Did you get the game?
I can't remember. I think my mum might have got Sims 2 so that we could actually use the expansion in the end. But it was still really annoying.
I can imagine.
But yeah, anyway, that's just like a little story in regards to
life
Sims.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched a video this morning actually. It's like someone did like a social experiment on The Sims 4, and basically, due to the current COVID-19 situation, where obviously everyone's living in social isolation, social distancing, etc. But they designed, so they got 100 Sims. So they placed, right, so they had one big massive plot, right? And it was one big massive house. But they divided it into, they kept adding like rooms into it. So they did 20 rooms and they were all identical. Every single room was identical. And they all had like all the amenities you would need to survive. So toilet, computer, stove, bed, all the like all the basic stuff that you would need to survive. So he made 20 of them, and he put 20 people in each individual one on their own, and there were no doors, so everyone was in there on their own. And it's basically just testing how long they could survive. And then and then he would pick one of them to look at, and the next item that they used, he would remove that item from the next 20.
My goodness.
From the next 20? Wow.
So then he would make 20 more identical rooms, but without that object.
Wow.
Some people just kept too much time.
And then he just kept doing it until there was 100 of them. And then you see a lot of people just like, well, keeling over basically in their own pools of peeing. It was horrible. I bet
Grim Reaper had a good time.
It was absolutely devastating. It was just carnage. I would urge you to watch it, but it was really good. It's about a 15-minute long video that was really fun to watch. I wish I had the patience to do that sort of stuff. But just watching like nearly 100 people die, just in these all cramped little rooms, we're just having like the basic amenities slowly disappearing from them. Because there was one where he used the toilet, so the next lot had to lose their toilets. So it's just like pulls a
wow.
So it was just pee
everywhere.
I'm gonna say, yeah. Oh.
It's a good little bit of information. Does anybody know how many copies The Sims sold?
The original?
Oh, was it 11 million?
Nope.
Or have I gone way too high then?
30 million?
I think this is probably just The Sims in its entirety.
Its entirety. Yeah. So the whole series.
I was thinking the first one.
Oh. Yeah. If it's the whole thing, then
a lot. I should say a lot.
Easily like 200 million.
Just under 200 million. Fairly close.
Go on then.
It's a lot of games. Yeah, it's just under 200 million.
Oh, right.
That's all I could find. There was no exact figure. It just said just under 200 million sold.
Does that include the expansions, or is that just base games doing it?
Don't know. Didn't check. I imagine it'll incorporate everything.
Just to go slightly off topic from The Sims, did anyone play the spin-off that was on PlayStation 2? I think it was the Herbs.
Yes.
The one with like
hipster
Sims
ones
in the city.
Yes, so the one where they got like official Black Eyed Peas songs, but they had to sing it in like Sims language.
Yeah, that's
another thing. The language.
A few people have done that, haven't they? Simlish.
Simlish is it? So weird how they managed to come up with like their own language.
Susu. That's how
Yeah.
But I actually watched a small video about that as well. Basically, the idea behind that was that they needed something that was universal and that wouldn't feel like it was being repetitive when you listen to it.
Yeah.
So that's why they didn't just do it in English or anything like that. So they hired all these voice actors to just try and make their own language.
Yeah.
Just like
All right.
stuff.
But it just sounded like a grown-up Pingu.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Well, there we go. That's The Sims. Well, we've spoken about just about all of them, so I guess we're inducting all of them then, aren't we?
Yeah, all
Well,
the Sims.
Sims is a
All the
franchise.
Sims. But it was quite a unique thing on its own. It was quite odd, like a video game of people
Real life.
just watching. It was odd because you could go on your computer, you could actually play The Sims on it. So you were playing The Sims, watching someone playing The Sims. Simception.
Yeah.
Yeah, Simception.
But
Great.
anyway, there we go. The Sims into the Video Game Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Live your dreams.
Yeah, live your dreams. So, if you enjoyed listening to us, please consider tuning in next time. We release bi-weekly on Tuesdays. You can visit our website at jokingdolphin.com, where we post blogs and the Hall of Fame. Also, feel free to follow us on all social media platforms to continue the conversation. You can find Joking Dolphin on Facebook, as well as on Instagram and Twitter at Joking Dolphin. And we're also on YouTube, where we post this very podcast, as well as other videos. Until next time, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.